There are other kinds of darkness in London besides the fog and the night, and the heart of this part of the city is the darkest of all, the darkness found in the Bijou Cinema. The flickering shop lights illuminate the hustle and bustle of the city, and sometimes they go out. Something's in the air tonight, however, and the crowds of people aren't so much afraid of the dark, but are having a laugh instead. Folks joke on the underground, and the mood becomes light.
Midland Electric Light and Power Company.
Why, almost the whole city's in dark, madame.
They're working on it now, sir, I assure you.
Midland Electric Light and Power Company.
Lights out.
Power down.
Turbine stopped.
What's that?
Sand.
Sabotage.
It's at the back of it.
Who did it?
Carl Anton Verloc is on his way home from an errand of sorts. I should perhaps explain that home is a modest flat over a cinema he runs with his wife, an American named Winnie. And the errand, well, let's just say that when he returns home, the first thing he will do is wash the sand from his hands. And now, Sabotage. We're in front of the Verloc's Bijou Cinema now at the box office, where a crowd of patrons demand their money back.
I know how the law stands, Mrs. Burlock. You broke a contract, therefore you broke the law.
Blackouts everywhere. Just look them down the street.
I pay money to look at the pictures. If I want to sit in the dark, I can do it at home.
Yes, free of charge.
Or I can stay at home and listen to the radio.
Who does that anymore?
Who would want to do that?
I think it's a blinking shame robbing the good people like that.
Ted, what are you doing here?
Just thought I'd lend a hand in your hour of need, Mrs. V.
That won't be necessary. You can go back to your green grocery stand, Ted. I've got things under control.
Very well. But if you need me, all you have to do is whistle.
That's awful kind of you, Ted. I'll have to remember that.
We've got to have our money back.
It's an act of providence, like an earthquake or a thunderbolt.
Or a baby.
Ted, would you kindly not interfere?
We've got to have our money back.
Step aside and let a girl get to her work, will you? I'm so sorry I'm late, Mrs. V.
Oh, Renee, are you a sight for sore eyes?
Or nearly blind ones. I had a heck of a time trying to eat my egg and toast in the dark. Half of it's in my ear now.
The patrons want their money back, Renee, but we can't afford it. I do wish Mr. Verloc would come.
Rotten place. Can't even see the pictures.
Listen to them, Renee. They're getting nasty.
Nasty? Will you leave it to me, Miss V?
Thank you. Hand me the flashlight, Renee, would you please? I'm going to see if Mr. Verloc has returned.
Don't be long. Don't be long.
With the flashlight leading her on, Winnie makes her way through the dark cinema and into the living quarters she shares with her husband and younger brother Stevie. When she reaches her bedroom, she finds somebody's been sleeping in her bed. And he's still there. Have no fear, it's only her husband.
Carl, when did you get home?
I haven't been out.
You weren't in 20 minutes ago when I called for you.
I was asleep. Why are you shining the torch on me? Can't you switch on the light or something?
We can't. It failed.
What, the fuse gone down?
No, it's everywhere, in the streets and the trains, and the audience downstairs wants their money back. They're making a terrible row about it.
Well, give it back.
What? Oh, we can't possibly afford to do that.
Yes, we can.
You must be crazy, Carl. It will clear us right out. You're always saying we can't cover expenses.
That is all right. It doesn't pay to antagonize the public. I've got some money coming in. Go on.
Well, it's your decision, but if we're going to be generous, let's do it properly. Come out to the box office with me and make an official announcement.
Oh, no. It's not worth all that fuss. They're used to you, Vinny. You make the speech.
Well, all right, but I still think you're crazy.
Returning to the box office, Winnie finds Ted commanding the crowd's attention.
It's an act of God, I tell you.
And what do you call an act of God?
Your face, for one. And you won't get your money back on that.
What do you think you're doing, Ted?
Just lending a hand, Mrs. Verloc.
I thought I asked you not to interfere.
I've been delivering a little counterattack. Look, they're on the run.
Well, they can come right back. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get your money back.
Don't give in now, Mrs. Verloc. I'll stand by you.
I would prefer you to go stand by your apple stall. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been speaking with Mr. Verloc, and since you're all regular patrons and good friends, he's going to let you have your money back.
There'll be no money back, I tell you. Go on, get off.
Please don't pay any attention to him.
I tell you, you're crazy. I had it all fixed.
Will you mind your own business?
Of all the obstinate people.
If you don't go away, I'll call the police. Renee, start refunding the patrons their money.
Let there be light. And there was.
Thank you for your trouble, Ted. I'm sure you meant well.
Not at all. I like trouble, Mrs. V.
Business back to usual, Mrs. Jones, the Verloc's cook, stops by to see Winnie on her way out.
The vegetables are ready for dishing up, Mrs. Verloc. I've got to hurry home now because my husband's having trouble with his kidneys again, and I can't leave him for long. Your young brother's looking after them.
What, the kidneys?
No, the vegetables.
Oh, good night, Mrs. Jones.
Same to you, Mrs. Verloc.
In the kitchen, Winnie's younger brother Stevie helps prepare the dinner as best as he can. Alas, he's better at making a mess than a meal.
Oh no, I've done it again.
Oh, Stevie.
Have you done all this by yourself?
I tried.
Oh, come on now. Don't be so modest.
Sorry about the plate.
That's all right. Now take off my apron and wash your hands for dinner.
Winnie and Stevie bring the rest of the dinner to the table where Mr. Verloc is waiting.
Well, Carl, we didn't have to pay the audience back their money after all.
Eugh. Always that woman Mrs. Jones manages to make the cabbage brown.
I'm always telling her you like things green. I'll make you a salad. Stevie, run next door to Ted and get a nice big head of lettuce.
Long or round? I like long the best.
Whichever's freshest. Oh, and tell Ted to charge it to our account. We very nearly wouldn't have been able to afford lettuce if we paid the audience back. I don't see why you wanted to pay them back at all.
Anything for quiet. I don't like attention being drawn to us in such a way.
Ted, what are you doing here?
Good evening. Forgive me for butting in on your private affairs, but Stevie didn't appear to know whether you wanted long, round, square, or oblong lettuce. So I brought a selection. Oh, good evening, Mrs. Verloc. So you came home just in time to see the trouble, eh?
Me? I've been in since the afternoon.
But I could have sworn I saw you come in just about an hour ago.
Well, you are wrong. I didn't know anything about it until Winnie woke me. Did I, Winnie?
No, Mr. Verloc was taking a nap when I found him.
Sorry. My mistake, I suppose. Well, good night, all.
Good night, Ted.
As the Verlocs begin their dinner, we follow Ted back through the cinema and to the greengrocer, where he has a word with his boss.
Mind if I pop off early tonight, Gov?
Okay, Ted.
Thank you. Good night.
Ted takes the Underground to Scotland Yard and goes to Inspector Talbot, his real boss. You see, Ted is working undercover to keep an eye on Mr. Verloc. Ted fills Talbot in on his latest activities.
I'm sure I saw Verloc return after the lights had gone out, but later when I challenged him, he said he hadn't been out at all. His wife confirmed his story.
Naturally she would, if she's in it. Same as being robbed in the crowd. One man treads on your toe, and when you're arguing with him, his pal picks your pocket.
I don't think she or her little brother mixed up in this thing.
Can you prove that?
Not yet. But it's the powers up the ladder that are concerned, aren't they? If Verloc's a puppet, who's pulling his strings?
They're the people that you and I'll never catch. It's the men they employ that we're more likely to get. You keep following Verloc, and don't be so quick to rule out his wife or her brother yet, either. Hauling shit is at your disposal, too. Let him shadow one and you the other.
Of course, sir.
Very good.
The next morning, Ted is at the greengrocer when Mr. Verloc emerges from the cinema.
Good morning, Mr. Verloc. Where are you off to this fine morning?
I'm off to pick up the new film for the weekend.
Well, pick us up a good one then, with plenty of intrigue, suspense, and murders. This love stuff makes me sick.
The women like it, though. Good day to you, Ted.
Ted watches Mr. Verloc cross the street. Hollingshead, another Scotland Yard detective, is standing across the street. Ted gives him the signal to follow Mr. Verloc, who boards a bus without realizing he's being followed.
Now, Stevie, we haven't all day.
Why, if it isn't Stevie and Mrs. Verloc?
Hi, Ted. How's your greengrocer?
Ripping and roaring. Always a market for greens and things and cabbages and kings.
Oh, Ted. Did you hear what he said, sister?
Yes, Ted's a clever one, all right.
Your fruit's our lunch today, Ted.
Is that all? How about a nice juicy steak with me? What about it?
I'm all for it.
Good. Where shall we go?
I'd like to go to Simpson's. My friend's uncle took him there once.
Mind your manners, Stevie.
Don't be too hard, Mrs. V. Let's make it at Simpson's. I won't take no for an answer.
Very well, Ted.
Oh boy, Simpson's!
Simpson's it is. Off we go.
As Ted starts for Simpson's with Winnie and Stevie, Mr. Verloc's bus has reached the zoo. There, Mr. Verloc meets with Vladimir, his boss. Hollingshead follows as close as he dares.
Good morning, Vladimir.
Hello, Verloc.
I trust you were satisfied with my work last night. It was just the sort of thing to make people sit up. I think you'll agree I've earned my money. I hope you don't mind my asking for it in return, no?
Obviously, you've not seen today's newspaper, Verloc, or you wouldn't be so proud of yourself. Look at this headline. London laughs at blackout. When one sets out to put fear and death into people, it is not helpful to make them laugh. We're not comedians.
It is not my fault if they're such fools.
Londoners are not fools. They laughed because they realized what happened last night was laughable. They did right to laugh this time.
What do you mean?
You will be paid your money when you've earned it.
I don't follow.
My dear Verloc, I once read a sign in Piccadilly Circus, calling it the center of the world. I think you better pay to visit there tomorrow and leave a small parcel in the cloakroom at the underground station.
What sort of parcel?
A parcel of fireworks.
Fireworks? No, I am not interested in being connected with anything that means loss of life. You have to get somebody else. I will not touch it.
Very well then. Verloc, if you think you're so well off.
We both know I'm not.
Alright then. If you're so fussy about doing it yourself, surely you can find someone else to do it for you.
Perhaps.
There's an address on the slip of paper. Go and see this man. He's a very nice old gentleman, and he makes lovely fireworks.
I'll try and see him.
And don't forget, tomorrow, busy day in Piccadilly Circus. Lots of people enjoying themselves unaware, feeling safe and secure.
You want me to come and report?
Thanks. No. If you're successful, it won't be necessary. Tomorrow, they must not laugh.
Ted, Whitney, and Stevie arriving at Simpson's restaurant, one of the finest in all of London.
Have you ever been here at Simpson's before, Ted?
No, never.
Oh, this is very expensive, isn't it?
Yes, it looks like it, doesn't it?
I've got a pound note if you want it.
It's all right. Now, Stevie, setting aside the steak for a moment, we have here before us oysters, caviar, smoked salmon, fried, grilled, or boiled sole, roast saddle of mutton, Kentish chicken pudding, boiled silverside.
I think Stevie'd like a nice poached egg on toast, and I'll have a mixed salad.
Oh, what? Poached egg here at Simpson's? Well, that's enough to make the roast beef turn in its gravy. Waiter!
May I take your order, sir?
Sirloin for 3, please.
Very good, sir. Right away.
When did you come over from America, Mrs. Verloc?
About a year ago. Business wasn't too good over there.
That's funny. People used to go over to the States because business wasn't too good over here. How are things here now? Not too good?
Not terribly.
I hadn't noticed you turning people away. It's hard to make a one-man business pay these days, unless you run a sideline. Has Mrs. Verloc a sideline?
No, but we're quite satisfied with things the way they are.
Just one happy little family?
Just one happy little family. Mr. Verloc's very kind to Stevie.
And that means a lot to Stevie's sister.
It means everything.
Now, here we are.
That for you as usual, sir. You haven't been in for a long time, but I don't forget.
Do I look as though I don't like fat?
What's the big idea?
What idea?
You said you've never been here before, but the waiter obviously knew you.
Come to think of it, there's a mystery about most people. What goes on in that cinema of yours after hours?
Deeds of darkness.
Does your husband go on mysterious journeys?
He does, wearing false whiskers.
Aha! That means there's another woman in his life.
If only you knew him.
What's the joke?
He's the quietest, most harmless person you've ever met.
I'm finished. What's for dessert?
Stevie.
Meanwhile, Mr. Verloc visits the address he was given by Vladimir, which just so happens to be that of a bird shop. Behind the counter stands the proprietor, who goes by the name of the Professor. You remember, the kind old man who makes, shall we say, fireworks? At the moment, he's getting an earful from a rather unsatisfied customer.
I can't understand, madam. This is one of my finest songbirds. It sang all day before you purchased it. Perhaps in a few days it will settle down.
Nothing will make it settle down. I've tried everything. Whistling to it, clapping my hands, even frying bacon. No use. It just sits there and makes me look silly.
That is not the bird's fault, I can assure you, madam.
Isn't it?
Perhaps it is resting. Have you thought of that, madam?
Resting my eye. I'll have my 2 and 9, please. And there's your bird back. I want a canary for company.
Very well, madam. Here you are. Do come and call on us again.
I'll see about that. Good day.
And how may I help you, sir?
You the professor?
Ah, yes. You want something from my other department, don't you? Yes, of course. This way.
The professor leads Mr. Verloc into the back room.
Let's see what I might have for you in my cupboard.
Everything there looks pretty harmless.
You are right, my friend. But if I were to mix, say, a little tomato sauce with some strawberry jam, then, well, I shouldn't want to be any place near.
Ah, very clever.
Thank you. Now, I gather from our mutual friend that tomorrow is the day and the hour 3?
Yes, but how do I start the mechanism?
You leave that to me. By the time you receive it, everything will have been set in motion. You seem a little nervous. Don't be afraid. Say to yourself, there is one man who envies you.
Envies me?
I've been a fighter always until now. But alas, I'm no longer wanted in the front line. I must keep the fighters supplied. But I would rather be in your shoes. I will deliver the package to you tonight.
Very well. Good day to you.
And you, comrade.
Following lunch with Winnie and Stevie, Ted returns to Scotland Yard to update Talbot on his progress.
Well, what luck with Mrs. Verloc?
She knows nothing, sir. Nothing at all.
What makes you think so?
She has a straight answer for everything.
But what about Mr. Verloc?
I'm not certain. But if he is mixed up in this, he's certainly not giving himself away.
Alfred has been following him today. Verloc went to the zoo evidently by appointment and met a foreign individual He then proceeded to a bird shop in Islington.
A bird shop in Islington?
Don't mean much to me either, but Burlock had a lengthy discussion with the proprietor, so we'll keep that on this lead.
Very good, sir. And where is Verloc now?
He's returned to the cinema. You can meet Hollingshed there.
So, Ted took you to Simpsons. I mean, a greengrocer can hardly afford to lunch at Simpsons, can he?
Of course, I realized he wasn't a greengrocer at all. He's really quite well off, and he's there to learn the business. It's one of a big chain, that shop. He told us he's the son of the man who owns them. How would you like a job selling fruit, Stevie?
I wouldn't mind. Wouldn't it be grand to have steak whenever you like? I'd have it 3 times a day.
You'd soon get sick of it.
Bet I wouldn't. I don't know how you would get sick of things that you eat except poached eggs.
What's the matter with poached eggs?
I think they're the worst thing in the world. I bet Ted doesn't eat them.
I'm sure he does.
I bet he doesn't. They're beneath his dignity. He's smart too, and he knows all sorts of things. Gangsters and burglars and everything.
How does he know?
He reads about them. He says gangsters are not nearly so frightening as you'd think. Some of them are quite ordinary looking. After all, if gangsters looked like gangsters, the police would soon get after them, wouldn't they? I mean...
Why, good evening, Mr. Verloc.
Hello, do I know you?
I am a business associate of your husband's.
Why, hello there. How nice of you to call.
And you must be Stevie.
That's right. What's in the package?
It's a surprise for you, Stevie.
A pair of birds! I just love them! Which one's the hen?
Well, you'll have to wait till one of them lays an egg.
Wouldn't it fool everybody if one day a gent lad laid an egg? Gosh, wouldn't that be funny?
Isn't that kind, Stevie? What do you say?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now go show them around with your sister so the professor and I can have a drink.
In the bottom of the birdcage which I've just presented to Stevie is a trap drawer. Inside that drawer is a package already wrapped as a parcel. I've made it up to look like one of your film containers, something you'd be seen with regularly. A stroke of genius on my part, I do think.
Yes, very clever. So I take this film container to Piccadilly Circus tomorrow afternoon.
The mechanism is set and ready to go at 3 p.m. Make us all proud. And keep an eye on that greengrocer next door.
You mean Ted?
I do. The greengrocer is the cover for Detective Sergeant Ted Spencer of Scotland Yard.
What?
Oh, excuse me?
I was just leaving. Good evening. I'll let myself out.
That was kind of you to give Stevie the birds. He just loves them.
I was hoping that would be the case.
You're terribly good to him.
And am I not to you?
If you're good to him, you're good to me. You know that.
Yes, I know. Now listen here. At Simpsons, when you had lunch with Ted, do you remember what he said to you? Did he ask you any questions about yourself, about me?
None that I can think of. Why?
I think he may be a detective from Scotland Yard. That is why.
What? Our Ted? Don't make me laugh.
Laugh if you'd like, but I'm taking this matter seriously. I'm going to have a word with him right now.
I've just stopped by and he's off this afternoon.
He's got eyes for you. I've seen it. Well, now we know why. It is information he's after.
Well, then I shall have a word with him myself.
Very well. Now listen, my dear. What are you doing tomorrow afternoon?
What did he have in mind?
A package of films. I need them delivered.
Just tell me where.
Fine, I'll write it all out.
Oh, wait a moment, I'd forgotten. Renee's out of the country this weekend for her brother's wedding, and you know how busy we are at the Saturday matinees. Perhaps Stevie can make your delivery.
Well, if you think so.
He'll be happy to. I'll work it all out. As for now, I think a long bubble bath and early to bed for yours truly. It's a big day tomorrow.
It certainly is.
The next morning, Ted meets Winnie in the Bijou lobby.
Forgive me for busting in like this.
We're getting used to it, Ted, and I'm afraid we have nothing showing at this early hour.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Verloc, but I'm here on business.
Yes, the business of spying on our family.
Verloc, there's nothing personal in all this.
Isn't there? You had us fooled all right, trying to make Stevie and me think you were our friend.
Do you think I enjoyed it? Listen, I asked to be taken off this job this morning. You can guess why. But it's not as easy as that. In my job, you have to do as you're told.
What have you been told? If it's about the man who came here last night, he came here on business, about the cinema.
That's just it. You have no idea the business that you discussed.
Whatever it was, I'm sure my husband hasn't done anything wrong.
I hope you're right.
Why do you say it like that?
Because we believe there's something going on here connected with sabotage. That blackout the other night, you remember?
Well, my husband hasn't to do anything with sabotage. He told me that night he'd been in all evening.
That wasn't true. I saw him come back with my own eyes.
I don't believe it.
You're making things very difficult for me. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you a lot of questions.
I told you before, he's the most harmless person in the whole world.
Stevie, has the two-reeler gone over to the counterbury yet?
There's plenty of time.
I was just wondering, maybe you could take it along now. There is another little job I want you doing at the same time. One of the projector lenses needs repair, and the repairman can't come right now over and fetch it. So he suggested you leave it in the cloakroom at Piccadilly Circus Station. He'll pick it up there at 2:30.
Got it. I know the place, the clock room at Piccadilly Circus Station.
Very well. The time is the most important thing. It must be there by 2:30. So you'd better get along now.
Well, there's no hurry.
You'll have to walk all the way.
Walk? What for?
Well, you know you can't take film things in public vehicles.
Oh yes, I forgot.
You needn't tell your sister that you are going as far as Piccadilly. You know how she is, always thinking that you are going to get run over.
She needn't worry.
Now hurry up. You might be late. Don't forget, it's got to be there by 2:30 at the latest. Here, take my watch. I've set it ahead by 5 minutes, so you will not be late.
I'm going.
That's a good boy.
Hello, Stevie. What have you got there?
I'm taking a two-reeler over to the Canterbury.
Bartholomew the Strangler. Sounds like a juicy one. Have you seen it?
14 times.
Must be quite a wrench parting from it. Have you learned all of Bartholomew's tricks by...
I'm still practicing the fine points.
Well, on your way, Bartholomew.
So long.
Oh, careful of the crossing, Stevie.
I can look after myself, can't I?
Stevie, is Mr. Verloc in?
Yes, I just left him.
Goodbye, Stevie.
So long.
Now, if you don't mind, may I see your husband?
Right this way.
let you in on this. Now I've put all my cards on the table. I'm afraid I've come to ask for your help, nothing more.
I see.
About that man who was here last night. I've been instructed to get a little information about him. We'd be very grateful if you'd help us.
Well, any help I can give, of course.
And I have some questions for you as well, Mr. Verloc. When did you first come to this country? Perhaps it'd be better if you put it down on paper, just a formality.
At 2:15, on his way to Piccadilly Circus, Stevie found himself distracted by a street salesman. There's always someone in the street ready to steal your time and money.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? I want to ask you a question. What is it that causes teeth to fall out?
Punch in the jaw, my wife's biscuits.
Decay is inevitable in all human organisms, but what if I was to tell you that decay can be instantaneously arrested? I have here in my hand a tube of a most remarkable preparation. Salvadon, 6 pence for the small tube and a pound for the large tube, is 4 times as much. Now, let me give you just a little demonstration. I see here a young gentleman who I'm sure would be happy to assist me.
Me? No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would. Come on, right up here in this chair, young fellow.
But I...
All right, stay where you are. Don't get excited. I want you to observe, ladies and gentlemen, that the young gentleman's teeth are very dirty.
They are not.
Yes, they are. Now come on, open your mouth. That's a good boy. Salvadon performs the functions that nature forgot. It cleanses the teeth, refreshes the mouth, and removes all traces of halitosis.
Hello, what?
Bad breath to you, sir.
Same to ya.
Thank you. I don't need it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you'll observe that I have unfortunately disarranged the young gentleman's hair. But that is easily attended to with this bottle of Loswell. You put it on the hair like that, you see. It is guaranteed to give the appearance of patent leather. You are now groomed for stardom, as they say. Go on, buzz off, you little basket. Go on, what do you want? Go on, hop it.
The time is the most important thing. It must be there by 2:30.
And where you running, young man?
I have to make it to that bus across the square, officer.
Nobody's crossing this square. Not right now.
What's going on here?
Don't you see how everybody's lined the street so nicely? It's a parade, son.
Oh boy! Wait a minute. I don't have time for a parade.
The 2:50 bus to Piccadilly is right on time.
Careful at the crossing, Stevie.
Tickets, please.
I say, do you think we'll make it to Piccadilly Circus by 2:30?
Yes, 2:30 in the morning. It's already 10 of 3. Now hold it, big boy. You can't bring those on a public vehicle. They're films, aren't they?
Yes.
Then they're flammable. Go on, hop off.
Well, you know, you can't take film things in public vehicles.
But I've got to get to Piccadilly. I got Bartholomew the Strangler.
Oh, well, as it's you, Bartholomew, old fellow, you can stay as long as you promise not to set about me or the passengers.
Thank you.
Excuse me, what time do we arrive at Piccadilly?
3 o'clock, ma'am. Not more than a few minutes. Tickets, please.
Well, young fellow, you may sit here if you like, but mind the pooch.
Thank you. What a cute dog. What's his name?
Alfred.
Come here, Alfred.
Oh, he likes you, I can tell.
Aw, that's a good boy.
You have the time.
Here, take my watch.
Certainly, it's 2:40.
Thank you, son.
I beg your pardon, but your wristwatch must have stopped.
The time is the most important thing.
I can't be late.
Perhaps it needs winding.
I have 3:05, and this pocket watch has never failed me.
It must be there by 2:30.
You're both wrong. I set my clock to the second each and every day. Why, my very job depends on it. And by my time, it will be 3 o'clock exactly in 10 seconds. 9, 8, tickets please. 6, Piccadilly is next. 3, 2, 1.
Well, I'm satisfied you that I am no threat. How about that drink now?
No thanks. However, if you'd let me use your telephone.
By all means.
Put me through to Superintendent Talbot, please. Spencer here, sir. What? A whole busload? No survivors? A whole busload of people have just been blown up in the West End.
How awful.
I have to go.
Spencer, I'm glad you're here.
I had no idea the extent of the damage.
I've seen many things in my day, Spencer, but this of the most devastating.
Have you gotten on to any clues?
A few curiosities have been laid out on this table here. What's this say? Bartholomew something?
Bartholomew the Strangler.
That's a film tin, isn't it?
It is.
I thought you said Verloc hadn't been out since morning.
He hadn't.
Well, you'd best go back there and see if this is one of their films. I'm off to meet Hollingshire at the bird shop.
How many?
2, please.
Now, Renee, are you certain you haven't seen Stevie all afternoon?
I'm sorry, I haven't. How many tickets, please?
1, please.
Big bomb sensation! Late extra news! Big bomb sensation!
It's alright. He can take care of himself. You've got nothing to worry about. How many?
Late extra news! Big bomb sensation!
Give me a sixpence, Renee.
Late extra news! Big bomb sensation!
Oh, boy, I'll take one.
Here you go, ma'am. Late extra news! Big bomb sensation!
Explosion. Among remains. Film tin. Bartholomew the Strangler.
Look, the lady's fainted.
Mrs. V. Oh dear, help her up, will you?
Here you go, ma'am. Up you are.
I want Mr. Verloc. I want to see Mr. Verloc.
I didn't mean any harm to come to the boy, Vin. I know how you feel. You'll have to pull yourself together. Do you think I fixed it so that he would be killed? No, but I tell you who did. Your Scotland Yard friend from next door, Ted. Blame him. I'd have carried the thing myself, but he was hanging around, watching, spying. I couldn't get away. Would you rather have lost me? Where are you going?
Don't touch me.
I thought perhaps you'd like something to eat.
Look at the mess you've made.
I'll clean up.
No, I will.
I started chopping the salad if you would.
I'll do it. Hand me the knife.
That's better. Listen, it's done now. What's done can't be undone. You go to bed after supper and there's the future. You've got to think of tomorrow. You need all your wits about you to think about. Perhaps you don't know if we had a kid of our own. I'm sorry for so much. A world going under, a world going up in smoke. And Steve. Poor Steve. I'm sorry.
Stevie? Poor Stevie? Stevie? Poor Stevie? Ah! 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 Stevie. Stevie.
You've heard.
Yes, Ted.
I'm terribly sorry. I don't know what to say. You know why I'm here.
Yes.
I have to arrest him.
Yes.
I'll help him if I can, of course. For your sake, if not for his. I'd do anything for you. You know that, don't you?
It's very good of you, Ted. There isn't anything you can do for either of us.
Things aren't as bad as all that. The evidence is against him, I admit. But nothing's going to happen to you. I know this isn't a very good time to tell you. I shouldn't tell you at all, I suppose. But before I take him along, I want you to know that what happens to you means a lot to me. I didn't want to tell you how I felt about you, but there it is.
I guess I better get my coat if we're going. I can't stop shivering. It's just inside.
For God's sake, what happened?
He was responsible. I'm responsible. It's all over and done with. Now we must go. Here's my coat. There, I feel warmer now. Let's go.
Go where?
To the police, of course.
No, hold on. Wait a minute. Listen to me. You can't go through with this. You're not guilty. I know it was an accident. Anyway, you only did the hangman's job for him. I know the facts, but no one else does. What chance would you stand with a judge and jury?
It doesn't matter.
You're telling me you have nothing more to live for? Is that it? Look at me! Put your arms around me!
Ted.
We're going to get out of all this.
It's no good. I don't see how.
Will anyone try and get in that room?
This is from at 8 in the morning.
And you say we've got no chance? We've got 12 hours before anyone will find him.
Ted,
Oh, what now? Oh, hello, Hollingshed.
Inspector Talbot is coming from the yard. That man from the bird shop, the professor, is on his way here in a taxi. We're to arrest him and Verloc on arrival.
Good work. Go see the woman in the box office. Her name is Renee. She'll show you in.
Are you coming, Ted?
In a minute.
There's the Birdman in his taxi now.
Then you better hurry, hadn't you?
And Talbot right behind him.
I'll be there in a minute.
Righto, Ted.
Now's our chance. You mustn't look as though you've been crying. Come along.
As Ted attempts to lead Winnie to the underground station, Hollingshead follows the professor through the cinema and to the door of the Verloc home.
Mr. Verloc? Mr. Verloc? It's the professor. Congratulations on your work this afternoon, Mr. Verloc. You have made me, and many others, quite proud. Mr. Verloc, are you home?
Put your hands where I can see him.
Oh, dear Scotland Yard! You may see my hands. See them? And do you see what I'm holding in this one? Once I let go of this button, I'm warning you, my friend. You'd better be far away.
Dear God, I've got to get the audience out of this cinema. Ladies and gentlemen, please, may I have your attention? I'm Special Agent Hollingshed from Scotland Yard, and I must ask your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, I must ask you all to leave. No need to get alarmed. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I beg your attention. This is a most serious situation, and we must evacuate immediately. There is great danger here.
What kind of danger? Alfred, let us walk on movie.
There is a bomb in this theater, and this bomb is set to explode in less than 2 minutes. There is no cause for alarm, but we must evacuate this cinema as quickly and orderly as possible.
Inspector Talbot?
I have no time now, madame.
But I'm Mrs. Verloc. Ted was taking me along to the police station. I told him I wanted to make a statement.
Oh, I see. Has this statement to do with your husband?
That's right.
Mrs. Verloc, is your husband inside the cinema?
She knows nothing, sir. Nothing at all.
Yes, he's inside.
Inspector Talbot, the old man's got a bomb. Says he's going to use it.
Mr. Verloc?
The other man, the professor.
Mrs. Verloc, what's your husband's nerve like? Can he
No.
He can't?
He can't control anything. He's dead.
The roof's gone, the whole of the back of the place blown out. Most of the audience had been cleared, thank goodness. But Verloc, you know, I saw some things in the war, but...
Is there enough left to identify?
I wouldn't say so, sir.
Spencer, you'd better look after Mrs. Verloc. Her husband's dead, blown to glory. You can break it to her. There'll be few inquiries later. There's nothing against her as far as I can gather.
Yes, sir. I'm going to see her to the train station.
Yes, you do that, and thank you for all your help.
Of course. Good night.
Good night. That's clear. Is that girl psychic? She said that Verloc was dead, but did she say it before, or was it after? I can't remember. Oh, Mrs. Verloc! Mrs. Verloc! Well, will you look at them? Scurrying away. Now that's what I call a lady vanishing. Undoubtedly never to be seen again in these parts, I suppose.
Inspector Talbot.
I'm coming.